It should show now. Okay, it is showing now live, but it's in a different window. What I'm doing is I will. Uh, so anyone on this chat
Yeah, I think
confirm?
yeah, some
There's a
a
new.
friend of mine has.
Sure. There's a new link in the same channel. Okay. Can someone just confirm in the chat if you can see this? I see it's visible to someone. I see three people are already watching. And I think we can start. We're extremely sorry. There is some technical glitch, and it happens in life, right? Life is always full of challenges. So, welcome everyone. Really glad you're here today. I'm a midlife transformation coach specializing in cognitive health and mental pain. I help you break free from trauma patterns, restore relationships, and reconnect mind body to perform lasting change. Shweta, welcome to this platform, and over to you to just introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Sabir. Hello, everyone. Good evening. I am Shweta Nadig, a psychotherapist and an NLP practitioner. I work mainly with adults to overcome challenges with emotional issues and also past trauma. I also work with relationships and help strengthen all the relationships that one is into. Thank you very much for being here today. So, when you can take over.
Thanks, yeah, thanks, Shweta. So most people, today's topic is very interesting. It is life reimagined, right? And then there can be a question that why would you reimagine a life? So we're talking about the people, who are around midlife, have crossed a significant amount part of our life, but most people don't sign up for this kind of conversation, like unless something goes wrong, or maybe something everything looks fine from outside. I was just looking to something a day back, where I was reading about that theory of the broken glass. So there might
Mhm.
be some broken glass which is not leaking. People still don't notice it is a broken, but maybe by repeated use of it, one day it breaks, right? So
Definitely, yes.
many times we don't, see the external things which is really impacting, but inside something feels unsettled, something feels, uncomfortable. When we come to a junction in our life where we are not teenagers, we are, not the new adults, I would say, may not be early 20s or something. uh, Maybe we have gone ahead in our life and achieved certain things, or in the process of achieving certain things, but still something feels unsettled. And that is what is our conversation today about midlife. It is not about starting new things over. It is about, seeing it clearly, maybe that where we want to go. This is not a session, actually. This is just nothing about diagnosing or fixing where we are today. It is about understand about this phase of life, and it is asking you emotionally, relationally, and physically. And if at any point something resonates with you, that's not coincidence, right? That is the awareness just beginning. So, Shweta, what do you think about this topic before we go further?
First of all, let me clarify to some of the viewers here what exactly we mean by midlife crisis. A lot of people think it's very dramatic and suddenly it all happens. It could be it seems like life is falling apart, but while for some people it is that evident, for some of them it could also be very quiet. It is a very slow process. It happens quietly, it becomes very confusing. Not And obviously it doesn't seem anything wrong outside for them. Everything seems to be going all okay, but you feel that emptiness inside. It is not one event that we call as midlife crisis. It is a process. So there is an internal shift within you, and a lot of strategies that once worked when you were in your early 20s and early 30s, they seem to not work anymore. You start becoming, start feeling the discomfort. You start getting emotional about things. You wonder, what is wrong with me? Why is this happening? All that confusion and everything. And it is not about wanting to escape life. It is just your inner self asking you to renegotiate how you see your life. So I feel a lot of emotions feel deeper. And though this is not any failure that going through it, it is neither a mental health disorder, but it is just about bringing together who you've been and who you are now. That clarity, that transition is when this midlife crisis usually happens. And as viewers, you can just question yourself, for a moment, what it is that is quietly asking for your attention at this point. What part of your life feels most in transition right now? You will be able to gain an insight into your life by asking yourself. So when maybe you can throw more light upon how this transition happens.
Right, and let me, take you through one aspect of it, a little bit closer to the reality at this point of time, in the aspect of around maybe growth, finance, and career. For many of us, midlife is the exact phase where everything peaks at once, be it EMIs. So we get our home, and then maybe there is a time either we are changing our home, getting a car, and all those EMIs get piled up, home loans, and then children's education for some of us. And then at the same time, we also see the medical needs goes up, our
Definitely.
aging parents, and then
Yes.
our own health expenses.
Hmm.
Today's the health issues comes much earlier than what it used to happen before, maybe 20 years back. Our own
Hmm.
health expense goes up, and then we all know like how volatile the world today is, in terms of career, right? And then expectation at work, outside. At the same time, there's always a peer pressure, because this time most of our career comes to a plateau. the
Hmm.
the way one was getting maybe job change, or a promotion in a very early career by doing a job change. This time things become more subtle. People at this time may not be able to change jobs that faster. They are looking for more settled career at this point of time. So if you look through this with the lens of this Maslow's needs of hierarchy, so we have different needs. One is safety, and then feeling valued, learning. This might be a phase where we are still looking for that safety part, because
Hmm.
all those financial and other responsibilities what we have. At the same time, our mind also looks for satisfaction, being valued. Maybe in our early career, even if the job is little bit stressful or high demanding, and it's giving good money, we are okay to do it in our career. But this time, not only money, we need the recognition, we need the value, we need to have a meaningful work. Today's corporate
Yeah.
people talk about meaningful work. And if we don't
Right.
get that, even if you're getting a money, because maybe your financial needs are getting satisfied, but still we become restless. So this is that junction of our life where and because today's world has added different kind of pressure, it's a 24/7 comparison. We know the cost rising, volatile job. Many people are living in a very nuclear families nowadays, because they're coming out because
Hmm.
of the career from their native place. Maybe only husband, wife, both are working, both are at
Yeah.
midlife, right? So
Hmm.
those things, and then on one hand, where our nervous system is still trying to protect the basic needs, and it is saying us don't risk too much. You have emis, you have
Hmm.
responsibilities. On the other hand, a different layer of needs starts becoming louder. Needs of meaning, as I
Hmm.
was saying, they still feel like me. I mean, do I really want to do this? And if
Hmm.
you talk to people around 30 40s, you may see many of them will tell you, hey, I want to do something else in terms
Hmm.
of career, right?
Yeah.
I know few people actually who has shifted their career, totally from what they were doing. One of the example might be me, that by profession in early career, I was definitely an engineer, but then this is the passion what I am having, and that is where I am also exploring and growing in this field, right? So this something happens, and then this is not only sometimes stressful, but it is also like really sometimes end up in different kind of symptoms. It can be fear, or it can be a different kind of stress, which sometimes we can focus how to solve it external. We take a new role, a new thing what we do, but sometimes we can also put look at our internal side. However, many of experiences this very differently. What do you think, Shweta, about this? What is your experience around this,
So
or
I
the
have
people?
actually, yeah, sure. I've got a lot of people who have approached me during midlife, but a lot of those symptoms that they came with are very similar to, let's say, anxiety or depression. So a lot of misdiagnosis can happen, but nonetheless, the experiences remain the same. Some of them feel I'm very emotional nowadays. I'm, everything hits me very deeply. It affects me very deeply, and the amount of emotional burden, emotional overwhelm that people at this junction carry is very very heavy to deal with alone, and it's accumulated from many years. It does not happen just as a one time thing. Suddenly you're in your 30s and everything starts switching. It's not that. It is an accumulation of many years of responsibility. You're holding together so many roles, I mean so many things around you. You're playing so many roles, and when you're in your 30s, you want to give your best, you want to explore. There's a lot of energy within you to try test waters, but as you are swimming in those waters for many many years, then you get exhausted, and then you sit back and you wonder, you question your life, you question your choices. You are um, until then you would have postponed your own needs because you want to build something while a person is building their life in career, maybe personal, maybe whatever it is. They are trying to put their needs uh, behind. They just want to achieve a lot of things, so they wait. So all of this is pushed aside, and then when you're in your late 30s, when you have achieved a certain level in your life, if you have met expectations of what you had planned for your life, then you start questioning, did I do right? What I wanted to do, am I living that life right now? So it it reaches a saturation level, and finally everything, that you held back for those many years, it starts beginning to surface. So there could be a lot of uh, grief. There could be um, a lot of other emotions that you have suppressed for building a life, which all come out when there is an emotional burnout. So let me now take you through how trauma affects, what the trauma experiences that people have in their life, how that affects midlife crisis. First of all, I have to clarify to everybody that trauma, I'm sorry, is not just an extreme experience that one goes through. It is not that one event which will change your life. That is not the only kind of trauma. There are very subtle experiences that happen in your life which also contribute as trauma. It could be the absence of safety that you felt during your childhood years. You did not get the physical safety. You did not get emotionally accepted. There is no emotional support available. Suddenly you have to become the one strong so that nothing falls apart. All these experiences also contribute to a person's traumatic experiences, and these experiences don't disappear with time. We just think, time will heal, don't worry, this will pass. But I don't think that is true. We are just suppressing, we are not addressing the issue, we are ignoring it, which will all crop up later when we question ourselves, we question our identity. And midlife often becomes this point where the system can no longer compensate for all of these, and it starts asking for resolution of the problems that one has uh, faced in their life. But this is nothing wrong with the person. It is just some unfinished tasks that is needing your care and attention. That is all I feel. Midlife is, and it is possible to wade through this with a lot of support from your surroundings, from people who are available. But yes, it is definitely hard, and it shows up in various ways. I would not tell, I don't want to label it as anxiety, depression, but all of this come together in your midlife. So, Vian, I'm sure you have worked with clients who have come with a different um, complaint or difficulty, but it is very, very different to what is perceived on the surface level. So maybe you can talk about it since you have that experience.
True. I think one thing what you said is very profound, and to reiterate that many times we say it will pass with time, and it is
Hmm.
just like putting things under the carpet, and
Yes.
those things comes out at different point of time, and many time this when it comes out it becomes a psychosomatic symptom. Psychosomatic
Hmm.
symptom means it reflects in your body, and there are people whom I work comes with a complaint that they have a palpitation in their heart. They go to the doctor, they do all the tests, and nothing wrong. The doctor says you're perfectly fine, but still they're having those palpitation or having some pains in the body. It comes sometimes for some people, suddenly the digestive system start functioning very differently the way it used to be. Yeah.
Hmm.
And then think, okay, it is because of age. Many time if they go and do the medical test, they find everything is perfectly fine, right? And this is very there's very less awareness in our society, in our country, regarding the psychosomatic issues, because
Yes.
many time it's very natural, like it is a pain is happening, and we go to a doctor, might be complain with the pain, and we start with what? We start with the painkiller. Eventually the pain gets a little bit less, and we again go back to our life. Again the pain comes back in certain time, and on to diagnosis, there is a psychosomatic issue. It takes sometimes years. That too, if someone is pursuing this with the doctors very clearly, and after a certain point of time, doctor do all the tests, then they say, no, no, nothing wrong with you. This may be psychosomatic. And some doctors may not even tell that. They may say nothing, only nothing wrong with you, right? This stops there. There are people at this point of junction of life whom I know is also having a fear, like a fear of death.
mm,
What will happen? So suppose there is a pain for different reason, but they are correlating this pain with something which can be fatal.
yeah.
So what will happen to us, to my family, if it is something very serious, right?
Yes.
So all those psychosomatic symptoms surface out because of if we put those things under the carpet. And these symptoms are not actually malfunctions. This is the way body is expressing those unprocessed stress and emotion. And when we learn to listen this without overriding this, we can start the healing. It becomes the body help us to heal actually those traumas or those things which are not, we have not addressed earlier. We put it into the carpet, and doesn't become an obstacle. Now let's take a moment and notice what is your body asking for more of, and what is this asking you to stop ignoring. You may feel sometime that you are doing something, and you may feel some unrestless in your body at certain part repeatedly. There might be some reason of that, right? Just try, we can be more aware about this to notice those things. Another very important aspect during midlife, what I observe, Shweta, is about the shift in the relationships,
Yeah.
right?
A
uh,
major, major
it is a very
aspect of mid.
major aspect, right? And then uh, because at the early 30s or late 20s, nowadays people normally start a new family, getting married. Even maybe if there is a courtship, it may happen more earlier in today's world. But around midlife, most of the
Mm,
people who have children, or some of them, if they're struggling to have children, right? Those cases are also increasing a lot. Universe, our surroundings, we know. If you have a children, they are growing. That is a different challenges they throw. If you don't have a family, different challenges you face, right? And then many of the parents, uh, their children at this junction maybe are around teenage, and those children are going through a very different kind of thing, and the parents don't know how to handle that many times,
yeah.
right? And then again, as we are talking about the career, both may get more focus on the career, and they may get less time for each other. There are
Mm,
many people, even the married couples, uh, they may not have gone alone for a dinner, maybe for a long time, spending this time with each other because of family
yes.
responsibilities or something else, right? Many times, even they go, they don't feel to connect because nowadays we have our favorite friend, our mobile phones. So even we are
Mm,
going out in a restaurant, both have mobile phones, and they are more into the mobile phones rather than each other. So
mm,
this creates some distance.
yeah.
This creates some different dynamics which starts in our relationship. And the old patterns surface. We People start avoiding conflict. That is good sometime, but then avoiding conflict sometime, again putting things under the carpet, right?
Mm,
Or people starts expressing in a very different way their needs, and that's where again the conflict starts. And then reimagining relationship does not mean cutting people off. It means how we can be relate, how we can learn and relate to awareness instead of a habit. Many times it may also be creating some healthy boundaries, we know more about ourselves at that point of time, at this junction, because we know our mistakes, we know our learnings, and then we know what we want from our life. And
Hmm.
then there are several aspects of healing, how we can come out of it. And I know that you are working with a lot of people as adults. So if you want to throw some ways, how do you handle this?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, Sovian. When you were talking about, how couples don't get their time because they are so into deep in their responsibilities as maybe parents, as children of, aging parents and all that, it puts a lot of pressure on um, uh, those people who are undergoing that transition, I would say. And it is so hard to see how everybody at the same time are facing challenges. Like a teenager, like you said, the child is a teenager, that child is facing a lot of his or her fluctuations in their age. And then there is these midlife people who are having their transitions, and then there are aging parents who are having their challenges. So this, in between, the midlife people, the middle-aged people, they get sandwiched between young children and older parents, and they don't know what to do. They feel so helpless. There are people who just break down, and this is when impulsive mistakes can happen, because um, they just want something new which can bring in that spark in their life again. They want to try new things. So while some of them do really good switching at this time, it could be quite a hard phase for some amount of people as well. And I don't think healing in midlife is about fixing anything, because by now you have gathered enough wisdom and maturity, enough experiences to relate to understand, to decode yourself. You just need to bring awareness, take a moment, take that pause in your life, and then make the necessary changes. So it is at this point when your nervous system feels more regulated. It is not uh, as a young adult, as a teenager, as a young adult, you don't know how life is. But at middle age, you have passed half of that. You have fought those battles which come as a young person. You have gone out into the world, you have experienced so many things, and now the body feels enough regulated to soften and respond differently. That's why it is important for every person to take that pause, to reflect, to understand the purpose of your life, question yourself. Yes, people go through a lot of questioning at this time, which is good, I would say. I actually just randomly asked my friends and family around in my circles what midlife challenges they have been facing of late. And the amount of varied responses I got, it was amazing for me to understand how, though it is all different, it still boils down to the same issues with people undergo this identity crisis. They start wondering who they are, what exactly they want out of this life. They start questioning all that, and then they suddenly feel lost because there's so much of overwhelm in their lives. They don't know where they are, what they have to do. And you're trying to hold on to every relationship so tight. In As a young adult, you're building those relationships, so you're giving so much into it. But when it starts stagnating, then trying to hold on to every relationship might seem hard. So a lot of people start questioning, do I really want this person in my life? Should I draw boundary setting and all that? They start bringing awareness into their lives, because they are by then enough mentally tired. They go into a burnout phase, and there's a lot of intense reflection that a person goes through during their late 30s and 40s. Some of them apparently feel a void in their lives. They feel so empty. They don't know what, everything seems to be fine. I have everything in life, I have whatever I need, but still I don't feel good about the life that I'm living. Some people, they feel full of energy one day, and some days they're struggling to make it through the day. All these, various ups and downs, a lot of confidence issues people do face, and um, and then they start questioning their self worth. Am I worthy? Whatever I have done, has it been worthy enough? So I would really ask everybody that you have to quietly remind yourself, take a break, take a few deep breaths, let your shoulders relax, let your body relax, because this is how the healing begins. Gently, respectfully, and at your own pace. You just have to, in that moment, tell yourself that you are safe enough and notice how your body is feeling. Just give yourself the permission to pause and see what might change in your system if you felt safer on a daily basis. That is where healing starts. So, I'm Suvian, you do have some tools, I presume, that you can give people to wade through these crisis situation.
Yeah, sure. So definitely, as you said, like taking a pause is very important. Not only in life, but also when we are making a decision. We are and we have to notice, right, how our body is responding. So many time, if you one may feel that when they are taking a decision which they're not comfortable with, their
Hmm.
mouth may go dry, or there might be
Yes.
some palpitation or some uncomfortness in the body. That might be an
Hmm.
indication that no, this is something I need to rethink
Hmm.
if the decision is really good for me or not. Otherwise it may come back. And then if there are there are some other practices like slowing down your breath before reacting, take a pause, and then using simple clear boundaries. For example, I statement, sometimes we fail to set the boundaries because that we feel it will offend others. But then if you I statement, I understand you need this, but it is for my, I am not able to comfortable with this, or I am not able to adjust this my schedule today. It is about me, not blaming others. Those kind of things, simple boundary, or simply journaling our awareness, not self criticism, may also help. Small practices done consistently create profound shifts over time. And then healing does not require intensity; it requires just present and be aware and a decision to pause and heal ourselves. So you can speak about how you are experiencing this healing, and then that can help our audience.
Definitely. First of all, I think at midlife, there is a lot of awareness. As I mentioned, you come with a lot of wisdom and that independence and strength within you, but they have certain limits, and that's definitely not a failure. It is just a transition which you will be able to handle if you know the right tools, if you take support of people who are experienced dealing with that, who will help you go through this. And everybody may think support looks like therapy or coaching, but it's not. I mean, it's not to be mistaken like that. It is, those places create a safe environment for you where you don't have to perform or explain yourself. You can just let go. You can just be yourself. You can just put out your thoughts, put out your feelings, and once you release all that you have held back, once you have put out everything, you will understand by yourself what it is that you really want to change in your life. What um, the people who change the most aren't the strongest, actually. They are the ones who allow themselves some form of support. So they are wanting to create that change because they want to better their life. You don't want to be stuck in the same place and uh, be focused on the problem. We work in a healing journey. We work with a solution focused approach where the problems are there, yes, but what do you want to do about the problem? Do you want to sit and talk about just the problem, or you want to sit and talk about the change that you want to make in your life? So midlife is not about starting over entirely. It is just coming back to yourself with more honesty, with more care. So, as viewers, please question yourself, where in life do you feel supported? Where do you feel alone? And please, um, don't to take the support that you need. If you allowed yourself more support, just imagine what might be possible at this point. Um, you don't have to be lost. You don't have to feel alone. There are a lot of people going through this, and it is a natural phase of life. But knowing how to deal with it, coming out when you need support, is what will help you become stronger, and you will get that freedom and clarity just by wanting to make that change in your life. What do you think, Suvian?
True, midlife is not a breakdown, actually, this crisis. It's just a recalibration. All these symptoms and everything, they're signs that something deeper wants alignment. So we'll leave you with one question to carry forward. What is this phase of my life asking for me? If in today's conversations resonated with you, it's an invitation, not a pressure, to explore this work further with right kind of support. Both me and Shweta, we work with adults navigating, this issues in midlife, anxiety, trauma, relationship challenges, especially in midlife transitions. So if that support feels something you have been searching for, you're welcome to take the next steps. I'm also conducting a 3 days residential retreat, Soul Renewal, in March. If you're looking to unplug and discover yourself and rebound, please connect. So thank you, and Shweta, if you want to just take the closing comment in 10 seconds.
Definitely. Thank you, Suvian. It was wonderful. And I'm sure those who have joined us here today